What is going on, guys? Week 0.5 is over, and we are on to our first full week of college football. We have games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Super excited for the first full slate, and today we are here to talk a little bit about the Ohio State and Minnesota game that will take place at 8 o'clock Eastern on Thursday night. It will be broadcasted on Fox. Number 4, Ohio State, comes in ranked very high after coming up short and losing by 28 points in the national championship last year against Alabama. They did lose their starting quarterback, Justin Fields. So, that's a position of question for them. Coach Ryan Day did name a starter over the weekend for game 1, so it will be C.J. Stroud, who is a redshirt freshman. He did not throw a single pass last year, but he did have one rushing attempt, and, go figure, he looked pretty good on that one attempt. He took it to the crib for a 48-yard touchdown, but still, redshirt freshman coming in, big shoes to fill with Justin Fields moving on to the NFL, and Fields was just so good last year and down the stretch, especially that game against Clemson in the college football playoff. But all year, really, Fields completed 70% of his passes and averaged 9.3 yards per attempt. So, big shoes to fill. It does remain to be seen if Stroud can really step in and lead this offense. He will have plenty of weapons around him. Obviously, it's Ohio State. The running backs are there. The wide receivers are there. The defense, they struggled in some of the big games last year, but they do have a lot of guys returning. They did hold 3 of their 6 Big Ten opponents to 20 points or less last season. So the defense should be good. Stroud should have plenty of weapons around him, but the real question is can this guy step in and be Justin Fields? Can he play at that level? Because honestly, my honest opinion, Ohio State is coming in number 4. They're overranked right now. This Stroud kid, he's got one run for 48 yards and a touchdown. That's cool, but he hasn't even thrown a single pass yet, and they have him as the number 4 ranked team leading that offense and defense. I don't know about that. But let's get into Minnesota, and then we'll talk betting preview. So Minnesota, people forget, 2 years ago, before the vid hit last year, this team went 11-2 with QB Tanner Morgan at the helm. They did beat number 4 Penn State that year. They barely lost to number 20 Iowa, and then they beat number 12 Auburn, SEC powerhouse team, in the Outback Bowl. Now get your bloomin' onion ready. They went 7-2 in Big Ten play that year, but they didn't play a team of the caliber of Ohio State. Penn State was 4 that year, but let's not go down that road. But Tanner Morgan is back at QB for his senior season with Minnesota this year, and they will really need him to get back to his 2019 form if they want to have a successful season. Now, looking at some of the numbers from 2019, he threw for 3,253 yards and 30 touchdowns, which was top 25 in both categories. There were only 3 quarterbacks in 2019 in college football that were more efficient than Morgan: Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields. So he had a great year in 2019. Then the vid hit. It was a very questionable year last year, shortened season. Minnesota finished 3-4 last year, and the numbers just weren't really the same for Morgan. However, he does hope to bounce back this year, and like I said, he really will need to do that if Minnesota wants to have any sort of successful season. He will have some weapons at his disposal, so coming back, he'll have Ottman Bell, who averaged 19.5 yards per catch last year. Daniel Jackson, who down the stretch in the last 3 games averaged more than 13 yards per catch. And then they have Dylan Wright coming over from Texas A&M. This is a guy you should probably keep your eyes on. He's 6'3", 215, big physical receiver. So someone else who obviously Morgan will be targeting early and often this season, starting in this game Thursday night against Ohio State, who has a lot of returning players on their defense. However, you look back in some of those big games last year, the defense was just not very good. So they will need to be better. They are capable of it. It really depends on the skill of their opponent. If you look at the strength of schedule and the teams that they were good against and the teams they struggled against, obviously the teams with the better offenses did more against them. But back to Minnesota, you got those weapons there at wide receiver for Morgan, but also Mohamed Ibrahim, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right. He is a beast. He ran for 1,076 yards and 15 touchdowns last season, which ranked number 11 and number 5 in the country. Now, one fact I'm going to drop on you here that you probably didn't know, and it'll probably blow your mind. The Minnesota offensive line consists of absolute grown-ass men. Minnesota has the biggest offensive line in college football with the average size of 6'6", 336. So we get it. They fuck. Now, they're going to be good in pass protection. They're going to be good in run protection. So Morgan's going to have plenty of time to sit back there in the pocket and pass. And then Ibrahim's going to be able to hit holes, get around the edge, just like he did all last season, even though it wasn't a very impressive overall 3-4 year on the record front. He was one of the top running backs in college football. If they can have that balanced attack, I really do think that they can get back to maybe not 11-2, but another respectable season this year. They have all the makings to do it. Now, that's the offense. But in order to have that season, they will need to be much better on defense. Minnesota, they returned just about everybody on defense, but if you look back to last year, they allowed 49 to Michigan, 45 to Maryland, and 35 to Iowa. Now, that was early in the season. That 49 piece to the Michigan Wolverines was in the season opener, but still, 49, 45, 35. You're not going to compete if you're giving up that many points. So they will have to be much better, and I do think Thursday night, I know they got the redshirt freshman coming in at quarterback, but I do think Ohio State will punch Minnesota's defense right in the mouth. So we'll see how they respond. They don't have another game against a ranked opponent until November 13th after this Ohio State game. So you got to think if they can put together some sort of good game and build some confidence, they could put together quite a good season with the way their schedule lines up. But I do think Ohio State will come out. They're going to obviously run all over this defense that allowed over 200 yards per game last year. But also that's going to open up other things down the field for Stroud to take some shots to some of his top receivers. And I do think I would be hesitant to take the spread. Getting into the betting talk, I know I'm scrolling down and I'm reading the teleprompter here for you guys, but with the 14-point spread, I'm hesitant to jump on that because 89% of the bets are coming in on Ohio State. That's a lot of public money. Usually if it's more than 80%, I like to look the other way. But I am a little nervous to take the plus 14 with Minnesota. You don't really know what to expect. But one play that I am confident in and I am targeting in this game Thursday night is the over, which is currently set at 64.5. It has come down a point today, so I'm hoping that it continues to drop closer to 60 by kickoff Thursday night. But I do think the Ohio State offense is going to have success against this Minnesota defense that gave up 49 points to the only ranked team they played last year. And then on the Ohio State side, they struggled against some good offenses too. And I'm not putting it out there that Minnesota is going to have this crazy good offense, but I did lay out the pieces. They have a solid group of receivers, one of the best running backs, and a quarterback who has proven to be very reliable and efficient in 2019. You look at those numbers, fourth most efficient quarterback in college football. I do think they are going to be good for somewhere in the 20s at least. And on the flip side, Ohio State, well, if number 19 Michigan could score 49 points on Minnesota's defense last year, I do think this Ohio State team is more than capable of going off for 40-plus points. So with that, we'll get to the prediction. Like I said, I'm just throwing this out there. It's very tough to predict an exact score, but based on the numbers looking at some of the previous trends, who's back, who's better, who's worse. Ohio State 45, Minnesota 24. I know that prediction does cover the 14-point spread, but like I said, more importantly, it goes over that total of 64.5, and that is the play that I will be targeting in this game. Please please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys watching. There will be more football action coming, more and more. And other than that, good luck. We got baseball action. We got football action. NFL is right around the corner. If you need free money to bet with, hit me up. Go on Twitter at KOF Sports. Go on Instagram at KOF Sports. Hey, Kof, what's good? I want some free money to bet with. Hit me up. I got you. Like and subscribe. Share with friends. That's about it. Go on KOFSports.com. Check everything out. I appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, let me hear it. Cut!